Think of Denmark and what do you think of? It's one of the happiest countries in the world? Bicycles? The Little Mermaid? Yes to all that, but so much more. Let me tell you about my Erasmus trip in 2019. I was visiting the Danish School of Media and Journalism in Aarhus. It attracts students from around the world, so immediately I find the students engaged and interested in learning from each other. Just being in the city, Denmark's second largest, is mind-opening. With its slick trams, its network of bicycle trails, fabulous food, and Nordic culture. I spent some time with students speaking about mobile journalism and shooting and editing on a mobile phone. But I also sat in on lectures from their guest speakers. I visited the city's art gallery, Aarhus, the Mosgaard Museum for Archaeology, and its food festival. And then I went on the road on a class field trip. It's an annual visit to Copenhagen with their international reporting class, working out at the press office in their country's capital for the week, gathering stories, and it's an eye-opener for the mostly international students.
They also get some kind of practice with speaking to complete strangers in a culture they are not familiar with, which I hope teaches them to use their curiosity and their sense of wonder for being in a foreign place, which is something I think we may have lost a bit as journalists. So instead of being know-it-alls, we turn into know-nothings, which is the beginning of wisdom.
The week in Copenhagen offered the students a tour of the national broadcaster DR with talks from the news editor and foreign reporter, and a tour of the UN city to learn more about how the UN operates. All the while, students gather stories.
So a lot of people are interested in studying with the international students, and I think it's a great practice for me because I'm going to study abroad in Australia in January, taking a semester abroad. So I think it's also a good practice for me to learn how to work with people from different cultures.
Actually, it's quite interesting because all this brainstorm and you got the chance to explore the city more, and with a purpose to explore, that would make more sense to like real travel, I would say.
Here everything is very different because everything is working just in another phase and everything is just like a little bit more slow, but in other points, it's just like it makes you fall very, very deeply inside of your articles. So it's just like so different from the Israeli way to be a journalist. So that's what made me fascinated from the first place, and just wonder how is it to be a journalist in another country.
So not just like sit around on your computer and like look for ideas and like call them on the phone. No, you go out there and you do work. So it's pretty fun. I feel like a real journalist.
Yeah, I love it because I studied Italian before, which is more like way more academic than what we're studying now, where we're mostly hands-on. So instead of just sitting at school week after week, we usually do 1 week of theory and 1 week after where we actually get to use what we learned in practical, like out in the world. So it's nice when we learn something, we actually get to go out immediately and go out and use it and actually learn how to use it instead of just having to remember until we have to go to an exam.
I'm sad that Britain will no longer be able to benefit from the Erasmus scheme, which for years has helped students within Europe study in other countries and also enabled trips like mine for academics. It's been an eye-opener for me and started a journey of collaborative global television projects since my return. That's something that won't be replicated with the Turin scheme, which so far won't offer staff mobility. And that's a real loss, not just for lecturers like me, but also for students who benefit from those collaborations that have come as a result of the Erasmus scheme.